How are you doing, guys? Once again, we're here with Virginia Perez, running for the Senator, New York State. What's the district, Virginia?
35.
35. But before we start, I want to make it clear that Yonkers Voice does not endorse any candidate. Our mission is to inform you, the public, so you know where each candidate stands, what's the platform, so you can make an educated decision about who to vote for. We have interviewed Virginia a couple of times. We also invited Senator Andrea Cousins. She refused. Or better yet, let me fix it. We contacted her 3 weeks ago at the same time that we contacted Virginia. They play with the dates, we call you back, we need to get in touch with the scheduler, this and that. So finally they came up and they gave us a date that they want to interview. But well, that's not really the way we work, okay? We are a strong media, Yonkers Voice and Yonkers Newswire. We have a huge follower. We can actually reach the people that you want to get, that you want to make aware of, that you're running, and the people that you need to vote for you or against you. Well, the 5th, the date that Senator Andrea Cousins gave us, was not acceptable. I told them from the beginning that we needed to have this interview way before the last week, before the actually primaries. We told them clearly that that day would not be workable for us, but we would willing and more than willing to give them a debate on that date. 5 days before the election, a debate between the candidates, so you, the people, can hear from themselves where they stand for, and you can make your mind about who to vote for. We will not give Andrea Cousins a one-on-one interview a week before, and we would not give it to Virginia either. So the debates, the interviews is before, and the debates not a problem a week before. So Senator, it's on you. If you want the people of Yonkers, New York State, your district to know where you stand for, where you stand, what your platform is, give us the debate. Virginia's ready, you're not ready. So Virginia, thank you once again for sitting with us.
Thank you for inviting me to sit with you.
So Virginia, how is the campaign going?
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, I've never had a break, really. And I wouldn't have it any other way because I've been baptized by fire, as everybody knows it. And hey, it's one of the things that prepared me for this moment. I love my constituency. They're my extended family. I love my work. I love what I do. And meeting new people, people that are excited to have finally to have another option on that ballot. People with fresh ideas, people with new concerns, because as you know that the district differs from different parts, like from Yonkers, from New Rochelle, from Dobbs Ferry. And it's quite interesting getting to know their issues, getting to know what their priorities are. But one thing is sure, that everybody is concerned, obviously, about taxes, obviously about the quality of education in schools. They're worried about their quality of life as well. I mean, it's a slew of issues out there, and it is very important that our current senator, no matter what happens at the end of this race, gets to know her constituents and gets to know what their concerns are. I know I'm out there and I'm being received very, very well, and I'm having a great time.
That's nice. Now, Virginia, tell me, if I'm a new voter, I don't know you, I don't know Andrea Cousins, Senator Andrea Cousins, and I need to decide who should I vote for. What is the main difference between you and your opposition?
If you're a new voter, and let's say that you don't know me and you don't know your current senator, well, there's the problem. You don't know me because I haven't been your legislator. You don't know your current senator, you have a serious problem in your hands because she's been your senator for over a decade.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I know my senator? She doesn't appear where she needs to. Why wouldn't I know my senator?
That is a good question to ask the senator. Why doesn't your constituent or constituents know you? If you have been in office for over a decade, every single person in your district should know who you are. Your name should easily roll off their tongue. I'm out there knocking on doors, and I'm very surprised at the number of people who don't even know who their senator is. Very, very surprised. And again, that's good for me. I'm being received really well. I'm out there, I'm very active. See, the thing is, I'm a people's person. Again, I'm very down to earth, very humble, very approachable and relatable. I'm not out there to be paraded by the establishment, celebrated and elevated by an establishment. And when you get to feed into that ego, you have a problem because you are out of touch and further apart from the realities that are in your district, from the realities that you people live with and face every day.
Well, Virginia, for what I know of you, you're a fighter,
Yes.
okay? I've seen you, well, I've been following you for about over a year, year and a half. And let me make it clear to you guys, I did not know Virginia personally until the last elections.
Correct.
Is that true or not?
That is very true. Yes.
But I've been following her for about a year and a half, everywhere, bringing food to the seniors, helping the homeless, bringing food from the places in New York City or wherever she needs to get them from. I see her being involved in things that it's really not her job, but she's there doing it. So we're seeing her. So she's not a person that does this now because she's running for for the position. That's her nature. She genuinely cares about the people of the places where she's going to be representing if elected. Now, Senator.
And I do it during off-election cycles too. That's very
Exactly,
important.
that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Before
Yes.
election, I've seen you around.
And even after elections are over, I'm still doing it.
Now, Senator Andrea Cousins also cares very much about the people. But it seems like she cared very much about the people in Long Island.
Yes.
Okay, we have needs here in Yonkers, in the places where she ran an election, a campaign, and she wanted to represent, but the help went to Long Island.
Correct.
You don't think the people in Yonkers, those kids in Yonkers, need that money, Virginia?
Not only do I think so, I know so. What the senator did by dispatching, it started from $500,000 and upwards of $1 million, money that was designated for schools and libraries. She dispatched every penny, every dime, every nickel, and every dollar of that money up to Nassau County, Long Island. Somebody needs to tell our senator that that Long Island, that Nassau County is nowhere near her district. What she did by dispatching that money out there to help another legislator, another senator who's facing a tough race, get elected, because should he win, then he owes her a big favor, obviously. What she did by playing political backroom deals and games with that money that should have come to her district was a true Amityville horror. There you go. You know, there are children here in her district going to crumbling schools, crumbling classrooms. There are classrooms where they don't have heat in the winter, AC in the summer. I mean, come on, her kids here, especially the poorest side of her district, which is where we share constituency, Yonkers, Southwest Yonkers. Kids are struggling to kick off the school year, you know, and a good note, let's say that. Which is why for years, not just now, and not just in my last election cycle, or the one before that, I've been doing it for years. I've been working with WESHAP and other local organizations and volunteers and community activists in giving supplies to kids so that they can get a head start. It is not cheap. When these kids are coming from a single parent household and they have multiple children in a household, it adds up. It really adds up. And when you have kids starting the school year without the notebooks and pencils and calculators, we even give them scientific calculators, that's expensive. I even remember how much my scientific calculator cost when I was in high school. I still have it because it was that expensive. I know what these families are going through because it is exactly what my family went through.
So you relate.
Of course I relate. The cost of living continues to go up. Taxes continue to go up. There are more and more demands on the everyday person, but there is no relief, which is why people are moving out of our cities, people are moving out of our state altogether. Some people are just looking to just go somewhere, you know, go back to the Caribbean or something, because it's becoming harder and harder every year to just keep your house afloat.
Okay. Now, Virginia, regardless, you're going to have a tough and a hard mountain to climb. Okay, she's been a senator for all these years, been involved in politics all these years. She's getting endorsements left and right. I don't know how many you got. I know how many she got. What does that mean?
Oh, please. If you look through her campaign expenditure reports, she bought her endorsements.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean?
Yes.
There is a price tag to endorsements nowadays?
Apparently so. It's public information. If you go to New York State Board of Elections, campaign finance, look through her expenditure reports, She bought her endorsements. In any case, the endorsement that really and truly matters is the endorsement of the constituents, the endorsement of the people that are going to go out there and cast that vote. While she's out here being celebrated by the establishment, I'm out there knocking on doors and getting the endorsement from the people that truly matter.
So, guys, what that actually means is that don't be fooled by who endorses who. Vote for who you think can represent you truly, somebody who can fight for the interests that you have. Who's endorsing? It makes no difference. Elections are won by you, by who you vote for. That's all that matters.
Another thing is that, for a politician to get an endorsement from a politician, are you kidding me? And then a politician to get an endorsement from, from unions and from special interest groups, that means nothing to the average person who's struggling to pay their bills, who's struggling to pay their taxes, who's being taxed out of their home. That means nothing to the single mother, single father, the father who's working 2 or 3 jobs, the mother who has to take the bus with a newborn baby and, who's struggling to get to work on time. It means nothing to somebody who's trying to pay their student bills. It means nothing to the students who's struggling to do well in school when they don't have the right support. It means absolutely nothing to your seniors who are struggling to be able to make the right decision, if there is such a thing as the right decision when you have to choose between medication and food. It means nothing to the real people that are suffering here in her district while she's out there being celebrated and elevated and sending money that should have come home to Long Island.
So, Virginia, just between you and us, tell me a little secret so these guys can know. How much does an endorsement cost lately?
However much you want to pay, I guess. She seems to have a lot of money, but money doesn't vote. People do.
You heard it. Now, Virginia, I gotta ask you this. Is Senator Cousin all that bad? If you had to say something nice about the senator, so people could vote for her, what would you say?
She has a beautiful collection of scarves.
That's it, guys. The scarf will do it. So, Virginia, is there anything that maybe I forgot to say, I forgot to ask, that you want to tell the people of New York State, your district, why they should vote for you and not for your opponent?
It is definitely time for progress, time for change, time to elect a senator that will do the job that you elected the person to do. Somebody that's committed to you and will be loyal to you and will answer to you and to you only. I have been a county legislator for 7 years now, going on 8, and I have served my constituents with great joy and pride and humility. My constituent seat recognized that, which is why they re-elected me 3 times over after my original election. I have proved that I am here for the right reasons. I would love to propose term limits because it needs to be proposed. It's really easy for people to say, well, you don't need term limits because you just have to just not vote for them. You do need to propose and implement term limits because otherwise we end up with the problems that we have today. Long time entrenched and self-serving incumbents, politicians, people that will continue to get stronger within the party, obviously, but weaker within their constituency because they're not there, they're not present. People who will continue to raise money, buy endorsements, and become so entrenched that it intimidates anybody from ever trying to challenge them. No one is going to intimidate me from trying to do the right thing. So I am going to commit to the 35th Senate District the same exact way that I've committed to my 17th Legislative District. And that is a promise. That is a promise that I kept here in my tenure in the County Board of Legislators, and it's a promise that I will keep out there in the Senate District. Like I said before, primaries are very healthy. I've been out there knocking on doors, and I can't even tell you, there's been a large number of constituents that have said, wow, I've been waiting for another option. What does that tell you? They're not satisfied with the person that they've had in office for over a decade now. There's one thing that I remember when I voted for Senator Cousins when she first ran. I remember when she was running those ads promising that change will come from day one. It's been 12 years. You know how many days are in 12 years, and we're still waiting. I'm tired of waiting, which is why I'm running.
Well, Senator, we're going, people from Yonkers Voice and Yonkers in general, New York State, 35th District, we're going to end this interview. And once again, we will ask Senator Andrea Cousins to step forward and present her ideas in a platform where both candidates can debate and can answer the questions. I'm sure that the senator feels that an educated voter is an important voter because you vote on issues, on things that matter. And the way to do that is by sitting down and educating the voters. And how you do that? By facing your voters, facing your opponent, talk about issues, answer to those issues, so the people of Yonkers can make an educated decision on who to vote for. On that note, we end up. Yonkers Voice, stay tuned. We're always here to bring to you things that matter and are important to you. See you later, alligators.